Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to episode 7 of my 6-player free-for-all Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I'm playing against 5 Emperor AI that are each on their own separate team, and I'm playing as the Orc Warlord, Crognash the Brutal. In our last episode, we continued expanding and we ended up doing quite a bit of exploring, in particular out east. You can see here we've actually gained a couple of additional cities. We're in the process of absorbing the Goblin city of Srock here. And then we also have ourselves an Orcish city that we've converted from elves. And I think yes, and in the last episode we also encountered the first of our opponents, that being the Goblin Rogue, Shnaga the Pretty. And you can see here that we really don't know much about her other than we've just sort of encountered the little tip of one of her cities here. So obviously we're going to have to decide how to proceed in this episode. However, before I dive into this episode, I did just want to give a couple of quick shoutouts to a few individuals who left some excellent comments on the last episode. The first of those came from Casper Eklund. And Casper pointed out that in the last episode, I unfortunately lost a shock trooper. So we have Crognash and Dominus here leading a stack, and we actually sieged this Goblin city here. And unfortunately, I was a little overconfident, and I ended up losing a shock trooper. And that shock trooper, I think, was a silver metal unit, which was really unfortunate as it was very powerful. And at the time, I kind of just chalked it up to getting overconfident and my orcs being a little bit more susceptible to elemental damage. But Casper pointed out that my shock trooper had actually had weakened applied to it, and that had come from the Goblin support unit in the battle. And I didn't even notice. So while I was commanding the battle, I must have completely spaced out and I didn't even see it happen. And that's why the shock trooper died so quickly, because weakened in parts here, we can actually look at what it does. If we look at our Blight Elemental, who can impose weakening, you can see here that it gives plus 60% weakness to Blight. And the Swarm Darter, who ended up killing the shock trooper, does a lot of Blight damage. So that's why I lost that shock trooper. And again, it's just a reminder there to really pay attention to all the little effects happening every turn. Casper also points out that in the last episode, I decided not to migrate this city. I didn't want to anger the goblins any more than I kind of already did. And Casper pointed out that that's actually potentially a good thing, in that now that I'm going to potentially here be attacking a goblin opponent, I'm going to have a lot of wetland, and in particular blight terrain in the goblin cities here that I'm going to have. So it's actually going to be beneficial to be able to just absorb the goblin cities rather than have to convert them to orcs and then potentially do some terraforming. So great suggestions there from Casper. I think Casper makes great points there. The next set of comments comes from Civ 5 Addict. And Civ 5 Addict points out that rogues are extremely difficult to deal with, especially really into the late game. They become quite powerful. At the end of the last episode, I had asked for feedback on, what did you guys think I should do kind of going forward? Should I attack the rogue now that I've discovered her, or should I kind of leave her be for a bit? And Civ 5 Addict points out that rogues get very powerful in the end game, and I completely agree, and that's in large part because of they can summon Shadow Stalkers, who are extremely powerful units that are just really, really nasty to deal with. We talked about Shadow Stalkers an episode or two ago. They were guarding this structure here, this Heart of the Blight, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to engage in this battle or not. And part of the reason I didn't is because those Shadow Stalkers are so nasty. So Civ 5 Addict points out that we should probably try to kill the rogue within, the next 15 or so turns. We should really prioritize taking Shnaga out of the game, and that would really save me from the hassle of dealing with Shnaga later in the game. And then Civ 5 Addict also pointed out that my shock trooper had been weakened, and that's why it died so easily. The final person I want to shout out is Can Dennis, and Can pointed out that I actually could have run. There was a battle where one of my scouts, and I'm not sure where exactly it happened on the map, but one of my scout units was attacked by some Lost Souls, and I just kind of did auto combat and lost the unit. But Can pointed out that what I could have done instead is to engage the battle and use my sort of cheese strategy of running away for 5 turns, not taking damage, and that would have saved my scout. The reason that would have worked is because Lost Souls aren't the most mobile unit. I think they have 28 movement, so they're not particularly mobile. They don't have any special movement abilities like phase or anything like that. And they also don't have a ranged attack. So because of that, I could have saved my scout, and that's a great point from Can there. Can also agrees with Civ 5 Addict. He suggests killing the rogue now. It would give me sort of more room to expand. I'll gain some additional cities as I'm sieging. And like Civ 5 Addict pointed out, it will really save me some headaches in the late game. So big thank you to all 3 individuals for leaving those excellent comments. As always, I really do appreciate them. Okay, so we're going to dive in here, and we have a few things we have to decide. So obviously, we're going to need to replace our lost unit, and I think we're going to use one of these Goblin Big Beetles to do that. So it might be nice to... This one's got a little bit more health, so maybe we'll send this one up here. It'll have a little bit less movement when it gets there, of course, but... Yeah, maybe we'll bring this one just because we want the extra movement. Otherwise, they're essentially the same. Neither of them is leveled up, so it won't really matter. Now, do we want to try this battle out? I think we could probably do it without too much difficulty. Yeah, we're going to step over here, because we're going to want to get rid of these units eventually. So why don't we use our cavalry here to engage this battle, and we'll do it. Now, of course, we have to remember here that the shaman does not have... is not susceptible to my conversions because it has mind control immunity. So I'm not going to be able to get a hold of the Tigran Shaman as a unit. However, maybe can we get the Nightshade Fairy? We could try. So we might have to try and get the Nightshade Fairy, although this Nightshade Fairy does a ton of elemental damage. So I'm going to just potentially have to just try and kill them off before they can do anything to me. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll bring Dominus over here. Or actually, maybe we'll just bring the Shock Serpent over to Dominus. And we will drop Guardian Flame, or Guarded by Flame, I should say, on our Mature Shock Serpent. Now, we're going to have to kind of entice them to come out here. This is going to be a bit of a tricky battle in that they do have some pretty decently powerful units. We don't want to kind of do anything stupid here. Lion's Courage might actually be nice to throw on somebody for this battle. I'll throw it on the Black Knight. That's going to make them even more powerful. We'll leave our Big Beetle as they are. Okay, so they're not going to come out at us, so we're going to have to kind of go to them a little bit. So what I would like to do is, again, try to entice them out to me. So maybe we... Oh, I'm hesitant to get my Blight Elemental too far in there, but I do want to put some work in here. Okay, we'll do that. Hopefully I'm not overextended there. I might be a little bit. We'll have to see. I'm going to bring my Black Knight over here to kind of reinforce a little bit. Crognash can step up, although not too far. We'll bring our other units kind of around. Dominus can move over this way. Actually, we could Nourishing Meal the Big Beetle while we're at it. Very nice. Okay. So I suspect our Blight Elemental is going to take a bit of a pounding here. Yep, there it is. Ooh, and it's entangled. That's not good for me. So I'm going to have to really try to free that unit now, or else I'm going to definitely lose it. Or I should say, kill off all the other units so that I don't end up losing it. Okay. So I have to kind of decide. Obviously, the Nightshade Fairy needs to die. At this point, we're not worrying about conversions. We're just worrying about saving our poor Blight Elemental. So we'll throw on the Warcry, kill off the fairies. There we go. And now we're going to need to deal with the Shaman, the Bear, and the Unicorn. Now the Unicorn we can probably kill. Yes, we can with... Or we can be very close to getting the kill with Crognash here. Alright, let's give it a shot. Ooh, and unfortunately we did not get the kill. That's a bit of an unfortunate turn of events there. I think with our big beetle, I get the feeling we're going to be losing this Blight Elemental no matter what we do here, which is kind of unfortunate for us. If we charge in like this, we attack the Dire Bear. We've still got our Shock Serpent who can come in and get the finish, which would be great. So we'll do that. We'll bring Dominus in and finish off the Unicorn. And unfortunately, I think that means it's all done but the Cryan for our Blight Elemental. Okay, so they used Befriend Animal on us, so we're going to have to deal with that. We actually got lucky there. Really lucky. So we're going to move in and kill off the Shaman here, or try to. Very nice. Now our Shock Serpent is back on our side. Crognash took a hit from him, but he's actually going to probably be just fine. Now, does the Nymph... Let's just check out the Nymph here. Dedicated to good, so I think we'll avoid it. I was going to actually try and get it, but of course it also has Mind Control immunity, so not worth picking up. Kill off the Nymph there. Unfortunately, we're not quite in range to grab the Goblin there, or the Goblin Hunter. I would have liked to put Dominus up there. I suspect he's going to flank one of these units here. Ouch. A little bit of pain, but we tanked it all right. This was kind of a sloppy battle again on my part, but that's okay. We got it done. And now let's go for the Dominate. Oh, and they resisted. Wow. Kind of surprised at that, honestly. The Shock Serpent has already leveled up once this battle. I suppose we could go in for a freeze, but I think we'll just go in and just kind of work on getting the kill here. We don't really need these little goblins that badly, so I guess we'll just get some more experience with our Shock Serpent. It'll be very close to getting to gold medal, and then we'll end up with a a King Shock Serpent. So only 20 more experience to go. We will get a Toadstool Fairy as a reward, and I'm going to take that because Toadstool Fairies do a decent amount of elemental damage, as you can see with their Fairy Fire attack. So that's fantastic. Some extra elemental damage is always a good thing. Alright, so now we're going to move ourselves up this way. And again, we are going to prioritize attacking Shnaga. As everyone suggested, I think that's really the best plan for us at this point. Alright, so now let's attack these pesky little scoundrels. We'll see if maybe we can dominate one of them to use as a scout, if at all possible. Okay, taking a little bit of crossbow damage, nothing too crazy. Alright, so our big beetle's a little worse for wear, so I think we'll jump in with a nourishing meal there. That's going to be nice. Okay, and now we can actually use our breath attack there. Very nice. So Shock Serpent can't quite get in there and do damage, but that's just fine. Send our Black Knight up like that. And Crognash is again in kind of rough shape, so maybe we just kind of keep him back a little bit. Or you know what, we can step up, get the kill there. Charge in and get the kill on the orcs. Very nice. Now we've just got one unit left. Okay, very nice. We're going to move in like this. We're going to drop a weakened. And we will grab... Oh, and Dominus is a little bit too far away to get in there because he's crippled. So what we'll do instead is we'll try for a freeze, and if it doesn't work, we'll just kill him. Okay, so it didn't work, so we'll probably just kill him here. Somebody needs a little bit of health, perhaps. Our Goblin Big Beetle could use a little healing, so we'll do that. And then can we get the kill? Yes, we can. We can get the kill with our Shock Serpent. A little bit more experience. Very nice. Inching closer to having that King Shock Serpent, which will be, I think, our first Tier 4 unit that we'll have acquired. Of course, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that will be very nice when we get there. And so we're going to head over this way. Again, we're going to really start pushing for our Goblin opponent's city here, I think. And we did get a level up with Dominus. So now let's decide how we want to proceed here. And again, remember that with Dominus, we are eventually going to be leading our own stack. It's just right now we have him in with Crognash because we're using him to kind of build up our army. You know, we could give him extra physical protection. That could be kind of nice for him. Wizard Hunters is a nice upgrade for when he's eventually leading an army, especially because it's going to give +1 resistance. So maybe we'll do Wizard Hunters and that extra physical protection just so that he's a little bit more protected. And I think that will be good for him. Alright, so that takes care of that. Now let's jump back over here. We had some other things going on. We had this stack that we kind of acquired. That's pretty good. Now we have this stack here led by Urkan. And we were heading up. I can't remember exactly what we were... Right, we were heading over here to clear out this spawning structure. Oof. 2 dire bears. This is actually going to be quite the battle. Yeah, we're gonna have a heck of a time with this one. I mean, we're gonna do it. We're gonna have to use some of our spells here with Urkan, I think, to give us a bit more of a fighting chance. Obviously, our knight is not in great shape, so we're gonna have to take advantage of our big beetle and our prowler to kind of be upfront fighters, I think, in this one. So, with that in mind, let's throw Last Stand on our big beetle. And we'll kind of get in position here a little bit. Our prowler can maybe head up there. Get our flamer in. I don't think we're quite in range yet, no. The knight can kind of just hang out as he is. Our priest we're going to try and use to full advantage here. Throw a curse on the nightmare. I suspect they are going to attack us since we cursed them. Yep, here they come. So those bears, we may end up losing the prowler, which I think is going to be somewhat unavoidable in this battle. Now with Urkan, I could throw a Last Stand on the prowlers, which I think is actually a good choice for me here. So we will put our prowler in defense mode there. Now what's nice is that they've grouped up for us to blast with some fire damage here, which is always good. There we go. Nice critical, which is great. And we can step up here. The nightmare is kind of resistant to our damage. I think we'll still do it, though. We actually did a fair bit there. 6, 6, and 6, so that's pretty solid. How far can that tiger move in? You know, we could actually move in with our big beetle and get the kill. The only problem then is we're going to get attacked. We'll probably get flanked by the tiger, so we're going to leave the big beetle where he is. The knight is going to kind of protect the back flank here if they try to come around. So end there. Okay, very nice. We kind of split their forces, which is giving us far more of a fighting chance here, I think. So we actually can kill off the tiger, which I think maybe we'll do. We could do some damage to the bear, but I think we'll just kill the tiger. Very nice. Okay, so our prowlers could probably use some assistance, so let's do that. There it is. We can actually use Urkan even to move in and get the finish here. That would probably be wise. Very good. And now our knight, we're going to just throw in defense mode up there and have him protect sort of our back flank. There we go. He's tanking the hits really well. Alright, so everybody's kind of doing their job. This actually worked out quite well. So I'm a big fan of Last Stand. I think it really worked out well this battle. Let's try for the... Can we just get the kill? We could. Let's try it. Very nice. Fantastic. So that battle went exceptionally well. We did have to use our spells a few times, but I mean that's what they're there for. Ooh, and we got some nice pants. +2 defense. That'll be good for our Warlord hero, who's sometimes kind of getting into the mix of it with, himself. So a little bit tankier. That's always a good thing. Alright, now we have to decide what the heck do we do with Urkan's stack. Did we check out the Shadow Realm here? We did not. So that's an option for us, is go see what's in there. We could continue to proceed east, although we're really at the edge of the map here, so chances are there's nothing that... None of our opponents are going to be down in this corner, as far as I can tell. Although, I mean, I suppose our rogue could have started down here, but I'm guessing that her domain is probably further north here, judging by the wetland kind of heading up north, so I'm going to kind of gamble on that. I suppose we could send this unit in just to scout real quick. I mean, it's an expensive scout because it's a tier 3 unit, and I don't want it to continue doing that, but... Alright, so we can at least kind of get a little picture of what's going on. Obviously, I can't really see much. I don't see any immediate dangers or cities or anything like that, so... It doesn't really help my decision here. I have to still kind of figure out, do I want to proceed in there or not? With this little toadstool fairy, I think I'm probably going to... For now... you know, it might be nice to send in with Urkan here. Although I think this is a pretty decent stack as it is. Maybe I'll just have the fairy guard the city for now. It's kind of an expensive guard because it's a tier 2 unit that does a lot of elemental damage, which I kind of lack. But for now, I think we'll just do that. Now the question is, what do I do with this big beetle? Because obviously we don't really have... I don't really think we have any other armies here that we're kind of in the process of building up. So I guess maybe we start kind of working on building another army. So maybe we just send them back to the city here to just kind of hang out for a little bit. And we can start working on maybe producing some additional units. And I think with Urkan, we'll at least go check out the Shadow Realm. We may need to also use Urkan to come and back up Crognash and Dominus, who are going to probably be in pretty tough against our Goblin opponent up there. We're going to jump back to Hrim. Now let's do our production here. So... If I remember right, yeah, we now have... I think we finished a Master's Guild. Yes, we did. So, that means that we can start producing things very, very quickly, which is great. We can finish, like, for example, this Great Temple in 2 turns, which would be ideal. Unfortunately, we're kind of low on gold right now, so maybe we just... Maybe we just bank this turn and do merchandise. That might honestly be the smart move here, just because we really don't have a ton of extra gold at the moment. So we'll tell this unit to just chill. Well, speaking of gold, I suppose we could run over and grab some, which would actually be a great move for us. Might give us enough to start building something here, so let's do that. Now, do we want to try this battle? We got 2 Node Serpents, Phantasm Warrior, and then 3 different Apprentice units. That's a pretty tall order, and I just don't think I'm strong enough for that at the moment, so I think I'm going to have to pass on that one. So, and unfortunately these Archon structures with the wall, they are just too well defended. I don't think I'll be able to do those battles very easily either. But we did grab some extra gold, which is great for us. Ooh, and it looks like, that does look like a spawning structure down there, so we are going to head that way. Yep, there it is. Okay. This is going to be a really tall order, though. We've got nothing but elementals, a Node Serpent. That's going to be a tough, tough battle. Boy, oh boy. The Shadow Realm is not very forgiving with very strong defenders, I can tell you that much. Now, we also have this quest up here with these giants. I suspect we're going to let that quest just expire. Because we've now... we took that quest before we knew where Shnaga was. And I think we kind of need to prioritize Shnaga, so we're going to end our turn there. Now, we were casting Raise Militia, which we can then free up our fairy there, so we can summon a guard for the city. And then we can move our fairy to go and help. We could even have the fairy kind of pursue Crognash's stack here just to kind of back them up. That might not be the worst plan. And same goes for this unit here. We could group them up and just kind of follow along. I think maybe we will do that. It'll be interesting to see what we can find out with our little goblin half-breed scout here. I'm very curious as to... I'm assuming this isn't Shnaga's throne city. But we'll have to see. I suspect she's going to have some cities further north. Now, one thing I should mention, again, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but in this playthrough, I think in the first or the second episode, I can't remember who it was, but somebody made a suggestion that I could try this playthrough without accepting any surrenders. And I'm going to try to hold to that, because I think I did say I'm going to do that this playthrough. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to accept any surrenders. So if I have an opponent on the ropes, I won't accept it. I'm going to have to exterminate them completely from the game. So I want to keep that in mind. Now, obviously, they want to be our vassal, but we just need more evil points. And we are currently sitting at -50, so we are not very evil. So we really got to work on that. Alright, so let's use Raised Militia. We'll get ourselves an extra unit. And we can move this unit in just kind of as backup up here, I think is going to be sort of the best course of action for me. Alright, so now the question, do I want to maybe go do some battles, or do I want to just go right for the city? Well, before we decide that, let's actually get on land here and do a little bit of scouting. Okay, so we've got a stone wall. Oh my gosh, she already has succubi. Okay, this is going to be tough. So we've got 2 goblin succubi here. Goblin Archdruid hero and a Goblin Dreadnought hero. So, whew, yeah, she is not playing around. She has quite the force already set up. Now, we're going to have a heck of a time because now our big beetle, I think, has Demolish. It does, Demolisher. So we can actually attack city walls with that, but we don't really have units that are going to be ideal for this siege. It would be great if we could get this Shock Serpent evolved before we go in there, but we'll have to kind of see if that's even possible. Alright, we'll just kind of tiptoe our way in here. I don't suppose they're going to come out and attack us, but boy, oh boy. That is pretty nasty already having succubi here. We're only, I guess we are 25 turns in, but they are not to be trifled with. I don't want to play around too much with them. Now, here's the question. Do I want to just get Urkan in here ASAP, or should I go explore the Shadow Realm? My instinct right now is to just basically get backup coming in to help me in these battles. As much as it would be nice to have another unit going into the Shadow Realm, I think I'm going to just prioritize assistance in this case because we might need it. I really think we're going to need it. So we're going to do that. We're going to focus on getting Urkan's stack up there to help me. Now, this stack I was sending this way to maybe try and clear out this structure, which unfortunately is pretty heavily guarded by units that do a lot of elemental damage. And of course, I've got a stack here of orcs who are just going to get absolutely destroyed by these units if I try it. So that's not great. Yeah, this is kind of unfortunate for me here. And I also need another unit here. I realize I need to actually get somebody over there guarding this city. So maybe we'll do another Raised Militia. We'll have a unit pop up here eventually. So we've got a Mature Shock Serpent, we've got Lesser Air Elementals, and we've got Baby Shock Serpents galore. A Dread Monkey. Ugh, that's a tough call. I'm going to have to figure out what to do over here. I mean, I can try the battle. I might be able to win it, but I'm going to take some losses. That much is almost a guarantee. Alright. I'll have to think about that one. In the meantime, though, I've got some other decisions to make. So we've got our Draconian Outpost in the Shadow Realm here. And we have to decide kind of how we're going to proceed with this. So we could start developing the city. We could also just produce a unit to just guard it real quick. That would probably be smart. I think I'll maybe make a hatchling just to have a unit to guard the city. And then I can start focusing on upgrades. And yeah, we've already moved up there. So we'll go back to Hrim. We'll do our production now. And we could do a stone wall to improve our domain. That's not really going to help us at the moment. There's nothing that's urgently going to be in our domain in the next turn or two here, or in the next expansion or two of our domain radius. So maybe we do, public baths would be nice just to get us closer to the hospital. Great Temple would be pretty good for the increase on our mana cap. A barracks might be alright. Start getting towards being able to produce shock troopers. Gladiator Pit, we haven't really unlocked any of our units beyond, I think, the Berserker, our class-based units, but we eventually are going to want that, so we've got good options here. I think we're going to do the Great Temple. It's going to take a lot of our gold, but I think it'll be worth it. This tiny little outpost here, it's going to grow in 4 turns. We did do a Builder's Hall there, so that's kind of nice. Could do... Again, we don't have a ton of income, so maybe we'll just do merchandise for now. Let's go up to Toldran here. we can really start working on Toldran for some improvements here. Now the question is, do we want to maybe forge another healing item? That would be great for, let's say, like Urkan in his stack. There's no healer in that stack. Let's just go look at Urkan here. So yeah, this stack doesn't really have any healing, aside from Urkan having Field Medic, I believe. Let's just take a quick peek. Maybe I didn't give him... Oh, I did, yeah. So he has Field Medic. So the units will heal a little bit more quickly over time, like over turns, but might be nice to have a healing item there. We could do Warlord's Command and have access to more of our class units as well. Alternatively, we could go with some of these other structures to get closer to having a palace as well. Decisions. This is a tough call. I think maybe we will go with the public baths here. Bang that out in one turn, and that perfectly used up our gold, so... Okay. Now, geez, all these structures are like pretty decently defended, making this kind of tough for me. I think we'll try out this one. We can handle this. We've just got a couple of these Draconian hatchlings. So we'll give this one a shot. Maybe we can get some of our units evolved here. That would be ideal. Get them into full-fledged elemental units rather than the lesser equivalents. So obviously we have to watch out for the mobility here of our flyer. And we also have to watch out for the elemental damage coming in the form of fire spit. So our frost elemental in particular is going to have that fire weakness. So we're going to have to watch out there. Our grunt is a little beat up, so we're going to have to also be careful. So maybe we'll use Touch of Faith on our frost elemental, since it's going to be probably the most vulnerable to that fire damage. I believe the air elemental... Ooh, actually, I should have used it on the air elemental, who is extremely vulnerable to fire. I don't think the blight elemental... Actually, all of my units are. Jeez. Yeah, so we got 40%. I should have probably looked at that a little more closely, but that's okay. We will just have to work with what we got here. So we'll take another turn. I'm going to throw Bestow Iron Heart on my grunts just so they have more health, because they are in kind of rough shape at the moment. Alright, so we're going to kind of want our grunt to tank some damage here. And unfortunately, someone's going to have to kind of be a bit of a sacrifice up front here. Maybe our Frost Elemental, since it does have the extra resistance thanks to Touch of Faith. Okay, there we go. Our grunt's doing a good job. Really nice. Excellent, okay. Now we've got them in battle with us, so we can now take full advantage of this situation. So, I suppose we could step up like this, do some big damage, very nice. And then, you know what, we can step in and... That doesn't do quite as much as I was expecting, to be perfectly honest. Could try for a freeze. Hang on now, we could... Oh, you know what, might be nice to get our Frost Elemental up into the hatchlings. The only problem there is then the hatchlings can just blast away with their fire damage. And that won't be very nice for us. Okay, we're going to step up with our Mystic. What kind of melee damage do we do here? Not great, hey? I mean, we can move in and kill at least one of these hatchlings for sure. I really don't want to lose these grunts because they're so leveled up, obviously. So... I suppose we could turn into a Werepanther and go and do some meleeing with our Mystic. That might not be the worst plan ever. What if we step in a bit closer? That's going to actually do pretty good damage. Very nice, okay. And then we'll come in with our... Yeah, we'll come in with our Air Elemental and get the finish. There we go. And now, between our Blight Elemental, we'll move in like this. Oh, this might bite me in the butt here, but we're going to step up like this, and we'll get the kill at least on one of them. I suspect this is going to end poorly for me, but our elemental units are going to be in big trouble because they're going to take a lot of damage here. Oh, okay. Thank goodness it kind of got spread out, so that actually worked out pretty well. About as well as I could have expected. we could have hoped for. So now, our Blight Elemental is now gold, which is perfect. Our Frost Elemental is close. So I think what we'll do is we'll use our Grunt like this, throw on the War Cry, turn that unit around, and then get the kill. Excellent. So now we're a little bit closer, which is great. I think we can just get the finish outright here with our Blight Elemental, or at least be very close. Fantastic. Okay. Now, Stunning Touch. Let's try for a stun. The reason I'm going to try that... Ooh, and it resisted. I wanted to try and get the kill with my Frost Elemental to level them up as well. Doesn't look like that's going to be possible. We'll turn into the Werepanther for the healing. We could go for an Entangle, though, so let's try that. Fantastic. Okay. So now we'll wait a turn and we'll let our Frost Elemental... You know what? First things first, we'll try for the freeze, because that gives us extra experience, I believe. It does. Perfect. Fantastic. Okay, and now we can just use our... Actually, you know what? We'll throw another Entangle on there. I believe that gets us more experience. Let's check. Oh, no, not quite. Okay. But the Frost Elemental can get the kill. Oh, not quite the level up, though. I was really hoping it would hit gold medal. But we did get our Blight Elemental to gold, which is fantastic. And our Air Elemental is now silver medal. So that bodes well for us. We are much stronger with our Elemental units. Getting to their full capacity rather than being lesser. Now, the question is, what do I want to do for an upgrade for Trugrok here? Chaplain might be nice, and that would actually... I don't know if that actually affects himself, though. All units in the hero's army. I think that affects him, because he's got kind of a lower morale because he's unhappy with my alignment at the moment. So maybe I think Chaplain might actually be my best plan here, just to kind of offset that a little bit. Let's see, does it? Yes, it does. Okay, so it does affect him. That's fantastic. So now that kind of offsets any penalty from my morale issue, or excuse me, my alignment issue. What's this? Gemstone Mine. Okay, that's another structure we can go up and raid. That's great. I don't think we're quite strong enough to take on those elementals, so we'll kind of do some of these battles just to power ourselves up a little bit more before we do anything else crazy. Okay, just double checking. I think we're good, so we're going to end our turn there. All right. I'm curious if Shnaga is going to reinforce her position here or try anything kind of funny. We'll have to see what she does. I suspect that I'll be able to win if I use Crognash and a few other units. I think I can probably win if nothing else changes. Now, of course, there could be some assassins here hiding in these other slots that I can't see that have concealment. So we'll have to use our little goblin here to move in and actually take a peek at what's actually in the stack, because... Oh, here we go. So our little goblin half-breed here is going to just take the damage. So... Oh, and he actually got converted, apparently. So that's... he got probably seduced by the succubus. So I've got a domain invasion happening at Srock here. Let's go check that out. Oh, there's some elementals. I believe they came out of the Shadow Realm. We'll have to take care of those with Urkan here, just so that they don't pose a threat to me. Okay, now can we get it? Yes, we can. We can actually get all the way over to help out, at least with our Big Beetle, which is great. So now let's move in and see what we actually got in this stack here. Okay, excellent. I was worried that there would be more in the stack. So far, there isn't. Now, this is where having Blood Brothers would be ideal, and unfortunately, I don't have it. I didn't have enough points to get it. You can see here it's 10. And that would have been really nice, because we've got 2 units here that have Seduce, and are going to make this very difficult for me. We've also got a Befriend Animal, which could be applied to our Mature Shock Serpent, so we're going to have to be extremely careful in this battle. There's a lot of things that can kind of go wrong with it. So we will get this unit in there. That's at least one more unit to help out. I think we're going to give this a shot. Let's see what we can manage in this battle. Actually, you know what? I'm going to engage the battle with one of my heroes because I'm sure if we win, these heroes are going to drop something, so I'm going to want to pick that up. Oh boy, I am a little bit nervous for this one. I'm not going to lie to you here. Okay, so they're cursing me. That's not great. All right, so we'll send this unit in right straight up there. We don't have any way to get rid of that curse as far as I can tell. We have Guardian Flame, so maybe we throw that on. Now let's see, what are we up against here? We've got a unit with Fire Musket. That's going to hurt. Some blight damage here. We're not really going to be taking any fire damage as far as I can tell. Let's just double check. Yeah, we're not going to be taking fire damage. So, you know what though? The Blight Elemental is probably going to be one of our most powerful units, as it's got all that blight resistance along with our big beetle here. So I think we'll throw this on the Blight Elemental. We'll have him charge up there. He can throw a weakened on the Succubus. The Mature Shock Serpent can kind of roll up, tank some damage, hopefully. Again, our Black Knight, unfortunately, is cursed, which means it's going to take some extra damage. Dominus has already acted. Crognash here. We can throw Lion's Courage, maybe on the... We should probably wait, though, because I was going to say we can double up on our Blight Elemental. The only problem is Shnaga may try to dispel it. So maybe we wait to cast that. Or, alternatively, we just cast it on somebody else. Like on our Shock Serpent here, or on our Black Knight. Actually, you know what? If we do it on our Black Knight, and then it gets dispelled, that would actually... Oh, and you know what? This gives us Strong Will. I forgot about that. That's going to actually be super valuable for us. So, we will do this here. And I'm going to hope that they try to dispel it, and that would actually get rid of the curse as well. So we'll be a little bit cheeky here. The big beetle is unfortunately going to be susceptible to the Seduce. Oh, and our unit got weakened. That's really unfortunate. Okay, they tried to curse us and failed, thank goodness. Alright, so now we gotta charge in here and do some work. I think we... just trying to decide where would be best to attack. I mean, the gate's usually a good choice. Could go for the wall. I mean, we'd be doing about half the wall's damage here, or about half the gate's damage. This guy's gonna have to just charge over here, and he can attack the wall at least. I mean, if I have to sacrifice somebody to take this city, I guess that's not the end of the world. I would just prefer not to have that happen. This big beetle's kind of in rough shape, so maybe we kind of bring him back over this way just to help out. We can even have him double up over here with our other unit, so we'll actually do that. Shock Serpent can't really do much currently, so we'll just chill. I mean, we could go charge the gate with our Black Knight. I don't really know how that's going to end. I suspect we're just going to get pelted with ranged attacks. I think maybe we just come back over here and we blow a hole in the wall with our Demolish and then try to get in there. Crognash will move up slightly. Be nice to get a Nourishing Meal on the big beetle, but for now we'll just chill with Dominus. You know what? We will cast Lion's Courage on our Shock Serpent as well. God, getting weakened by that is really not great. Yeah, we're just kind of getting picked apart by these ranged attacks, which isn't good for us. Okay, so let's do that, and then I think we can demolish the wall here. Very good. Now, unfortunately, we have to kind of get around to get up there, but get our Black Knight over like this. Get our Shock Serpent as close in as we can. Crognash here. Again, we don't have any more Lion's Courage, so we're just going to kind of have to make do. We can move Dominus in and actually throw on a Nourishing Meal. He might take some hits, but I think he'll be okay. Did this unit do it? Oh, it used its demonic sacrifice. Sacrifices an ally to create a shadow stalker that lasts for 2 turns. Or maybe it... Oh, maybe it just... Maybe it didn't... Yeah, it used that this battle. I don't know what unit it sacrificed, though, so that's kind of bizarre. Because I don't see a shadow stalker that's popped up. Yeah, what the hell? Let's get in there. I hope that doesn't end up being a mistake. The Blight Elemental... I suppose we could just actually truck on up here. My only worry if we do that is that we'll kind of get into a position where the Blight Elemental is like in the way and we can't actually get up onto the wall. I mean, I suppose we could go right here. The only problem is the Blight Elemental is currently weakened. So we've only got... Well, I guess we still have a net 40% Blight protection, which is alright. If I go up there, though, I'm concerned that I'm just going to get ganged up on and really take a lot of damage, which I don't want. What the hell? Let's do it. Oh, this is... I feel like I'm going to regret this. What I'm hoping is it kind of takes some of the damage. Okay, so it seduced one of my units, which that's fine. As long as I kill off the succubus, we're going to be alright. So here, we'll throw on... we don't even need a war cry. We can just... charge in here. Very nice. Okay, so we got our unit back. This Goblin Big Beetle's probably going to have to be a bit of a kind of sacrifice here. I suppose we could get our Blight Elemental out of there and just retreat back. That would probably be the safest and wisest course of action. Alternatively, we could hit them with this weakening breath, but then, of course, that leaves us pretty exposed. So I think we're going to cheese it. We're going to just get out of there. And we're going to charge in there with our Big Beetle, who we're going to use as a bit of a sacrifice. We'll send this one in to assist, but I don't want to get Crognash in there prematurely and be in danger. Dominus, again, we maybe want to try and use our Dominate on one of these heroes even. We won't be able to use it on the Succubus because they have Mind Control immunity, but we might be able to grab one of the heroes if possible. I'm hesitant to send Dominus in there, though. I don't want him getting too exposed, so I think we'll just leave our heroes back like this. God, that Filth Pit is just nasty. Okay, so they're throwing a curse at us. Alright, that ended up actually being pretty gentle. Quite happy with that. So, we can charge in here, kill off the hero. Now, I don't think Dominus can actually get in there to dominate. And you know what? I'd rather just focus on getting the kill and not worrying about anything else at the moment. So what we'll do, we'll move Crognash in. We'll do a little bit of damage here. We'll move Dominus up. We'll do a little bit of damage there. We'll use our Shock Serpent to attack. And we actually got the kill and the level up, which is phenomenal. Excellent there. And now we're just going to kind of let this unit come to us here. Get our units inside the walls here so they're not taking that Filth Pit damage anymore. Like you saw right there. Big ouch. So Crognash can fly right in here, or move right up, I should say. Do a tiny bit of damage. Dominus can't dominate, so we're not going to worry about that. Our Blight Elemental, I believe, can use Weakening Breath to do some work. So let's just move up a little bit here and let's see. Oh no, it's actually immune. Okay. So we can step back and then just use Weakened. It'll make our life a little bit easier. I guess because it has enough blight protection that wouldn't affect it, the Weakening Breath. Alright, we'll move in with our Black Knight here. Ooh, we're actually going to take a lot of damage if we engage there. So maybe we'll use our Shock Serpent first. Oh, devastating. Alright, fantastic. So that battle, taken care of. We now have a King Shock Serpent, which is ideal for us. And we didn't lose anybody, so you really couldn't ask for better. We got to level up here with Crognash, and we now have enough to get Blood Brothers, so I will definitely take that upgrade at this point. And we've got a few items here to deal with, so I'll take the bow with Crognash here. We've got the musket. We could send that off, I suppose, to Trugruk, perhaps. I think we'll do that. Because Trugruk currently, I think, just has the Holy Bolts from his Theocrat item. Okay, city awaits its fate. Again, we are being kind of buds with the... Now, these are barrens, but we've got wetlands as well. So I think we'll just keep this one as goblins. I think that's going to be the smart move there. We've got all these wetlands. We can kind of benefit from that, so we'll keep it as is for now. All right, so now we got to decide where do we go next. And again, I'm thinking we go north. You know what? We could even use this unit as a little bit of a scout. Okay, I'm not seeing anything. We may have to go underground. That might be the other option, is we have to go explore underground to find out what's going on. So let's kind of consolidate a little bit here. Could go try and clear out that foundry. That might be kind of good. We'll see what we can get out of there. So let's head up that way for now. This unit we might send down here just to do a little bit of scouting. Oh, dang. You know what? I forgot about this little guy. I mean, whatever. If he goes to attack, he's going to have to deal with this big beetle. So if he goes to attack this city. Again, we have to get more evil to be able to be in alliance with our Archon Revenant buddies here. So let's think about our research. So we've got Garrison's Honor. Units that are garrisoned in cities with a wall gain a +2 defense bonus. Units that are garrisoned in cities without a wall gain +2 defense and +2 melee physical strength. Or +2 physical strength, I should say. That's pretty rock solid. But I would like Thoroughbred Mounts. That's going to help my cavalry units here. So we're going to do that. We're going to shoot for Thoroughbred Mounts. That's going to help my Goblin Big Beetles. That's going to help my Knight. That's going to help my Black Knight. It's just really going to be beneficial for me. And eventually, if I get Manticore Riders, I'm going to want that. So, all right. We've got some production to deal with. But before we do that, let's decide what we're doing with Urkan here. So we are going to attack this little roaming unit because we don't really want them scooting around in our domain. What this effectively means, though, is that we are going to have to go into the Shadow Realm eventually. Ouch. A little bit of damage there, nothing too devastating. Okay, we can do some damage here, which is excellent. And ideally here we can move up and put the hurt on these units quite nicely there. You can see, very good. Now Urkan can move up and kill the Wisp, which is ideal. Very nice. And you know what? We can hopefully just get the kill outright here with our Knight. Let's see about our... Yeah, our Knight has a really good chance to get the kill. Excellent. Didn't take any damage. That was a great battle. And look at that. Our Priest is now gold medal. Got to level up with our Flamer as well. So this stack is just gradually getting more and more powerful. Very nice. Now, do we want to go clear out this inn? There was a number of Tigran units. I mean, I think we're strong enough. Like, we are a pretty decent little stack here. And then we could maybe go back and head into the Shadow Realm or something like that. I mean, we're not going to have this in our domain for a few turns, so I don't... It's not like it's critical to take it right now. But it would be another battle we could win. Or hopefully win. Maybe we could even recruit a unit or two. I think we can do it. We've got these chariots. The only thing we really have to watch out for is the Sphinx, I think. Because of that fire damage. So let's do this battle. Again, we have to be careful, but I think we can manage this one without too much trouble. Okay, so we're going to take some projectile damage there from those throwing knives. Nothing too devastating, like I said. We can light up this shredder. Pretty much get the finish here almost. Urkan can essentially finish the job. There we go. So now our Knight, we're going to have to watch out because the Sun Guard obviously can... Oh, you know what? I maybe should have moved Urkan over here. So now we're going to have to kind of guard him, and unfortunately that's going to set us up for a... We're going to be in a line there and take some hits, so... Set our Prowler right there. That's hopefully going to deter them a little bit. And maybe our Knight we go over here. Oh, and look at this. We've got 3 units in a line, so we don't want that. So we maybe move our Big Beetle up like this. If we go here where my cursor is, then we're lined up for an attack like that, though, which isn't great either. But I do want to kind of protect the priests a little bit. And the Knight can maybe back up one. Kind of be in reserve a little bit here. Actually, you know what? We'll come in like this. Of course, now we're lined up again. I'm kind of just lining everybody up, which I didn't really mean to do. All right, so they're going to come at us, and we're going to take some punishment here, I think. Yeah, there it is. Our hero really got hurt pretty good there. All right, thankfully, nothing too devastating. Okay, excellent, and our Prowlers tanked the damage for us, which is excellent. Exactly what we needed. Okay. So we could use our Knight to go in and attack the Sphinx, which I think is probably a good plan. Urkan, we have to figure out what to do. So I think what we'll do, though, is we'll kill off the Chariot like this. Excellent. Our Priest, we want to do big damage to the Chariot if possible. Alternatively, we could just run away because we don't want to get killed off here. Our Priest has quite a bit of health, though, so I think maybe we'll be okay. Maybe what we do is I'm just trying to decide kind of how best to approach this. We could use our Flamer like in melee combat and try and get the kill. I suppose that's not the worst plan in the world. What kind of damage do we do? Yeah, not really great, hey? So what I'd like to do is get my Knight up there to attack the Sphinx. Now with Urkan, do I need to... And then I could send my Prowler over to just tank damage over here with the Chariot, perhaps. That might be a good... I think that would actually be quite nice. And then our Priest can light up the Chariot further. So let's get Urkan around like this. What kind of damage does he do? You know what, we can even go here. The only problem is that's going to get in the way of the Knight then, but we can move over our Flamer. I think we'll be fine. So we'll move in like this. We'll throw on a Warcry. And we'll get the charge kill. There we go. Very good. Now we can't... Unfortunately, that prevents us from getting the flank, but we move over like this. I think we can... again, a little bit of a mistake there, but not huge. So we'll charge in. We could have done a flank hit, and instead we didn't. What I should have done is use my Knight first, but I wanted to see what would happen here first, so a little hesitant, and that kind of cost me a bit. So now what we can do is we can do some damage to the Chariot. Actually, a decent amount of damage here. Some more damage. And then we can move in and get our Prowler sitting like that. Alright. Big Beetle's taking the hits. The Knights got panicked, so they're going to run away. But I think we'll be fine without them. Urkan's going to have to potentially go fight this Sphinx by himself, which I think he'll be able to do. Could give him a little hand here with our Flamer, perhaps. Do a little bit of damage. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, we'll be alright. And now we just have to kill off the Shredder up there as well. So let's do some big damage. Very nice. And we can actually come in and get the charge with our Big Beetle, so maybe we'll do that just to be safe. Fantastic. Alright. So that's clean, that's cleared. Very good. Now let's take a peek while we're here. Nothing I'm super excited about. I mean, a Shock Trooper would be nice to have, of course, but is that worth 340 gold at this point, which I currently don't have? Honestly, probably not. I mean, we could recruit some kind of just other units here, but I think... That being said, maybe we recruit the Rabble and just use them as a scout. Not the worst plan ever. We could go scout up here. You know what? Let's do that. We'll recruit the Rabble. And then we'll literally just use him as a scout unit. Go up along this road here. Okay, so that at least takes care of kind of what's up there, so that's good. I mean, it was only 60 gold, that's kind of worth getting a little bit more scouting out of it. Now, our knight lost his movement because he had to run away, so we'll just keep our unit together there. I don't want to split them up. And that's going to do it there. So now let's focus on production. So we've now got a little guard for this city, which is great. And we can use Trugruck here to do some battles, so we'll take care of that. So we've got 2 foot soldiers, Archon foot soldiers, and 2 archers. The archers do spirit damage with their bows a little bit, so we'll have to watch out for that. Alright, let's engage the battle here. We'll do no mercy. We want those evil points. That's for sure. Okay, so we're taking those blessed arrows. Not too bad. Alright, so now we want to level up the air elemental if we can, and we also want to level up the frost elemental if possible. So, now, do we have spirit? We do have 60% spirit weakness with our blight elemental, so we got to remember that. I don't think our other units have spirit weakness. No, they don't. Let's just double check. No, so it's just the blight elemental, so we'll have to watch out, in particular with the blight elemental, just because of that possibility. I think we'll cruise over here and we'll actually try and stun. Okay, we got a stun. That's fantastic. Makes our job a little bit easier. Do some damage over here. Nice critical. That's really good. Could move in and actually get the kill, which would be pretty nice. You know what? Let's do that. I think we'll get... Well, we might not get the kill, actually. Oh, yeah. That's actually not enough to get the kill. Whoops. You know what? We can just throw ourselves in defense mode, I suppose. Because we're going to do a minimum of 11 and a maximum of 16. So unless we get a perfect top roll, we're not going to get the kill. And I don't want Trugruck getting in there unnecessarily. So maybe we Touch of Faith, our Blight Elemental, kind of get him in there a little bit. I mean, he is weak to Spirit, but that will at least help him a little bit. Let's see what kind of damage will he take. Yeah, not too bad. So we'll send him in to deal with the foot soldiers a little bit here, I think. Kind of tie them up. We will do an attack there. We got the kill. Fantastic. Oh, I guess... I think we had 2 attacks there. I was thinking we only had the 1. In any case. Alright. Nice. Okay, we got that critical. That was great. That unit tried to back off from us, and we actually were able to just eliminate them there without too much trouble. That was fantastic. Our Mystic here can light up these foot soldiers. Excellent. And then we could get the kill with Trugruck. However, it might be nice to actually do a little bit of healing with Trugruck instead. So we'll heal our Grunt, and use the Grunt to get the kill. And now over here, our Blight Elemental is already evolved, so we're going to try and get some experience with our Air Elemental instead. Very nice. So that's going to be very close to leveling up. So now we have a full-grown Frost Elemental, which is fantastic. Just a bit stronger, which is really good. Exactly what we need. And then very shortly we will also have an Air Elemental instead of a lesser Air Elemental. We've got some Shadow Elf units over here we can go and take out, so let's try that real quick. We have to be careful because some of these units are actually pretty tough. These Infused do quite a bit of damage, especially with their Shadow Shift ability. And these Storm Priests here can summon a little Lightning Sprite, which can be quite the headache to deal with. So this isn't an easy battle by any means, but we should be able to get it done. So we'll do this one. Again, we're trying to just kind of gain experience with our units. We really want to level up our elementals. So there's that Lightning Sprite, as expected. Okay. Our air elementals are going to be useful here because, again, resistant to their shock damage, which is going to help us out quite a bit. Frost elemental has a bit of a physical weakness, which is going to be a bit of an issue. Blight elemental should be okay in this battle. I don't think any of them do spirit damage. Even the Storm Priest doesn't do... No, it just does cold and shock, so we'll be okay. Alright, so our grunt's going to need to get in there as well. Do some work. Maybe we just hit him with a little weakened breath here. Kind of soften him up just a touch. Like that. Very nice. And we're going to want to kind of tank a bit. So maybe we send our Frost Elemental up like this. Air Elemental up like this. Oh, we do have Frost weakness. That's actually going to be a bit of an issue. So, yeah, we don't want that. So we're going to retreat back with our Air Elemental. Good thing I remembered that, because that would have been kind of unfortunate. And as for our hero, Touch of Faith might be nice on our grunts, because they're going to be probably the most susceptible to the elemental damage. Our Mystic can kind of just retreat back a little bit. Alright, let's see what happens now. Okay, those arcane arrows coming in. Some flanking on our Blight Elemental, who's taken some hits, but he's still in the fight. True Gruck can eliminate these touched, and then we could move in. Alternatively, actually, maybe our grunts just kill them off. Throw on the War Cry, try and get the insta-kill. Yes, we did. Very good. These lightning sprites need to die, that's for sure. I mean, they're quite annoying. Could go for the Storm Priest. Be great to help out our Blight Elemental, who's kind of in tough at the moment. Our Air Elemental could just come in and try for the kill here. That would probably be the best. Very good. So then we could step up here. Do some big damage to the Infused. We got the kill. Very nice. That's fantastic. That frees us up a little bit now. So now our Frost Elemental, maybe we just go right in here and sit between these two units. Try and tie them up. Or we just go straight for the Archer. Ignore the Priest, kind of. Our Grunt has already done his job. Our Blight Elemental, we could just kind of tie up these Infused pretty easily. Let's see, can we do something with True Gruck? Yeah, I'd like to get in there. I think I'm fine taking a little bit of punishment. Oh, and look, that actually worked out really well for us. So because it's the Frost Elemental has one of these abilities. I'm not sure which one it is. Let's see. Inflict Chilling. Attacks on this unit have a chance to inflict chilling on the target. Inflict Freezing Cold. Melee and range attacks cause the target to be frozen. I guess that also applies to when it's being attacked. So that's, or maybe that's a different thing. That's Frost Aura. Here it is. Every time an enemy unit performs a melee or touch attack, enemy unit receives 5 frost damage and has a chance to be frozen. So it was that Frost Aura is what turned them to ice. So that makes our life a little bit easier. So now we can move in like this, do some damage here, and we can actually go like this and even throw a weakened on this unit just for fun. There we go. Now if they try to fight us, they're going to take some punishment. Whew, yeah. Big damage there. So now we can drop some heals. So we can heal up our Blight Elemental, who's a little bit worse for wear at the moment. And we want... Our Air Elemental now has a gold medal, which is great. Exactly what we needed. So let's move up a little bit, do some damage. Charge in a little bit here. I guess we'll just wail on him with our Frost Elemental. Excellent. That Frost Elemental is going to be extremely useful, I think. Alright, so now we've got ourselves a full complement of fully evolved elemental units, which is really good for us. Here's another Shadow Gate. Let's see, where is this one? In the surface. Interesting. Okay, so there must be one I almost can't see. Right here. Oh, hiding in the mist right here, probably. Well, that's great. If I need to pop back up, I could actually bring this stack back, clear out the watchtower, clear out the item rack. So that's kind of nice. If I need to pop back to the surface, that's really going to help. I think we're going to call it an episode there, and we'll kind of decide where we're going to send True Gruck in the next one. But we're just going to zoom out and take a look. So we made some solid progress against Shnaga here. Shnaga, the Goblin Rogue. We took one of her cities. We won a fairly decisive victory against her. So we're going to save this one here. Save game. We're going to call this one Episode 7. Okay. So yeah, I think, again, we're just going to have to figure out where Shnaga's remaining cities are, and we can really try and eliminate her early if at all possible. But in any case, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.